Let me ask you something. Have you ever sat in a meeting, listening to someone explain a problem in 15 steps and thought, why are we making this so complicated? Have you ever looked at a situation that everyone around you was panicking about and felt this quiet, almost eerie sense of calm, like you already knew it was going to be fine because you've seen worse? Or maybe you've been called cold, detached. Maybe someone told you that you don't care enough, that you're not expressive enough, that you seem like nothing really gets to you. But here's the thing, something does get to you. A lot of things do. You just don't perform it for an audience. If that sounds like you, welcome. This video is going to explain something about the way your mind works that most people around you probably don't understand, and honestly, something that even you might not have fully understood until now. Society has a very specific idea of what emotional intelligence looks like. It's supposed to be visible. It's supposed to be loud. People are supposed to share their feelings in real time, process openly, seek validation, and keep others updated on their internal world like a live news ticker. And if you don't do that, if you're the kind of person who holds things together without announcing it, who figures things out quietly, who doesn't post every thought or seek constant reassurance, people assume something is missing in you. But psychology tells a very different story. What looks like emotional distance from the outside is often something far more sophisticated happening on the inside. It's not emptiness, it's not avoidance. It's a particular relationship with reality, one built on experience, pattern recognition, and a deep, quiet trust in one's own ability to handle whatever comes. Psychologists call this autonomous emotional regulation. It's the ability to process emotional experiences internally without needing external structures or constant social feedback to do it. It doesn't mean you feel less. It means your nervous system has learned to metabolize difficulty without broadcasting it. People who think this way often developed what researchers describe as a high tolerance for ambiguity. The brain, when exposed early to environments that were unpredictable, economically, socially, culturally, adapts. It builds mental frameworks that don't require certainty in order to function. You learned how to move through uncertainty without waiting for someone to tell you it was going to be okay, because sometimes no one told you that. You just figured it out. This rewires the prefrontal cortex in subtle but powerful ways. Decision-making becomes less reactive. The emotional brain, the amygdala, still fires, still feels, but the thinking brain learns to stay in the conversation. The result is a person who can feel deeply and think clearly at the same time, who doesn't have to choose between emotion and logic, because they've learned, often through necessity, how to hold both. Studies show that individuals who grew up navigating high levels of social and economic change demonstrate greater cognitive flexibility in adulthood. They tend to be more adaptable when systems fail, more resourceful when structures disappear, and more psychologically stable when the world around them becomes unstable. Research also suggests that people with this thinking style have a stronger internal locus of control, meaning they operate from the belief that their actions matter, that they have agency, and that waiting for someone else to fix the problem is usually a losing strategy. This isn't pessimism, it's actually a deeply practical form of optimism, one rooted in evidence, in lived experience, in the quiet confidence of someone who has already been tested. Here's where it gets interesting. Think about two different people facing the same crisis: a job loss, a relationship ending, a system that stops working. The first person immediately reaches outward. They post about it, they call everyone they know, they need the emotional experience to be witnessed before they can even begin to process it. There's nothing wrong with this, but their stability depends heavily on external input. Without that input, they often feel lost. The second person goes quiet, not because they're fine, but because they're working. Inside, there is a whole process happening. They're assessing, they're recalibrating, they're drawing on every previous difficulty they've survived to remind themselves that this one too is survivable. They'll talk about it eventually, but first, they need to think. And then, almost quietly, they find a way forward. Psychologists call the second style internalized resilience, and people who carry it often don't even realize it's unusual. They think everyone processes this way. They don't understand why the world seems to require so much external reassurance for things they've learned to carry privately. Here's the deeper truth that this kind of mind carries, often without saying it out loud. You don't trust systems blindly because you watched systems fail. You don't outsource your peace to institutions or trends or the approval of people around you because you learned early that those things are not guaranteed. You built something inside yourself instead, a kind of internal compass, a quiet knowing. And that knowing makes you incredibly valuable in a world that is increasingly overwhelmed. When everyone else is spiraling, you're still thinking. When the noise gets loudest, you get quieter and clearer. When people are waiting for someone to lead, you've already started solving. This isn't a personality quirk. This is an architecture. Your mind was shaped by a particular kind of time, a particular kind of pressure, and it became capable of something that a lot of people are still trying to learn. You are not cold. You are not broken. You are not emotionally unavailable. You are someone whose emotional life runs deep but moves inward. Someone who was asked to be strong before anyone taught you what strength was supposed to look like. Someone who adapted, quietly and without applause, and came out the other side with something that can't be downloaded or learned in a weekend seminar. You're wired differently. And that wiring, the one that makes you hard to read, self-reliant, a little skeptical, fiercely private, is also the thing that makes you someone others instinctively turn to when things fall apart. Don't let anyone convince you that your quietness is a deficiency. It is a form of depth that the world needs more of, not less. If this resonated with you, take a moment and sit with it. Subscribe if you want to keep going deeper. The surface is for everyone, but this channel is for the ones who always wanted to know what was underneath.